Greetings and welcome to another Recipe Wednesday. This recipe we have been making since before I even started the diet. So I want to say at least over 4 years. Of course, back then I was using like half and half instead of heavy cream because I was scared of the fat. But yeah, not anymore. This is actually a recipe from Julia Child's cookbook. Anyone else out there seen the movie Julie and Julia? That kind of intrigued me and the girls, and we got the cookbook and we made several recipes, and this is one of them. I don't know anyone who doesn't like this recipe. I make it for company when they come, and they're always saying how good it is. Now, we used to eat it over rice. We don't anymore. We just eat it straight up like this. So let's get cracking, and I'll show you how to make it. So this recipe starts and ends on the stovetop. I've got a pot of water boiling. What I'm going to do, and I'm not going to show it because I actually showed this in some of my other recipes. I'm going to bring the water to boil. I'm going to throw in my chopped onion. I'm going to boil it for 1 minute, drain it, rinse it, and then it's going to go into this pan that I already have going. This is 10 tablespoons of butter. You heard me right. That's 10 tablespoons of butter. 2 tablespoons of paprika and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. This is over medium-low heat. I've got it started. Once the onions are done, they're going to go in this, and then we'll talk about what's next. But before we move on, I want to say, I never thought until recently, what is paprika? I'm going to look it up, but I never thought about what paprika is. I always just knew it was a spice. The reason I'm saying this is because on the container of paprika that I have, it says that it's got silicon dioxide added to it to help it pour and keep it from caking. And I looked up silicon dioxide. They're like, oh, it's a chemical compound and, it's found in nature. It's like, yeah, but is what's in this natural? Like, where did that come from? Did they make it in a lab and then add it? I don't know. So I'm going to finish off the box that I have, and then I'm going to see if I can find paprika that does not have silicon dioxide in it. I don't even know if it's a problem. It always makes me a little bit nervous when the government says it's generally considered as safe. Generally? Really? Well, okay. Anyway, here's my chopped onions just waiting to go in. And you don't need to thaw the chicken first for this recipe. The only reason I have it thawing a little bit is just so I can separate there's 4 breasts in there, and I can't separate them right now. So I'm just, I've got them in cold water just while everything else is getting ready so that I can pull them apart. All right, there we go. They boiled for a minute. I drained it and rinsed them off. And now I'm going to cook them until they are softer. I'll let you guys know how long it takes. It doesn't take real long because you're not trying to cook them necessarily until they're completely done, just until they're a little bit softer. I did look up what paprika is. It's actually what I thought it was. When I finally stopped to think about it, I'm like, I bet it has something to do with red peppers, and it does. It's dried, ground up red peppers. And I thought that's kind of funny because my oldest daughter does not like red peppers. My middle daughter, she'll tolerate the flavor of them, but everyone likes this dish. So I wonder if there's a way that I could make it with the red peppers. I'm sure there is. Anyway, here we go, moving right along. That was about 7 minutes. They look good. I'm going to put them in the crock pot, turn it on high, and put the chicken in. There we go. I put them in, turned them over just so they could get coated. And this is going to cook on high, of course, with the lid on, because that would just be silly if I didn't. I'm going to check it at 3.5 hours. I think it's probably going to be done by then. So it's actually been about 4 hours just because of how my time worked out today. A lot of stuff I had to get done. And let's see how soft it is. Ooh, oh, that's perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out all the chicken. I'm going to kind of shred it a bit on a pan and let it cool. And then I'll go back over it and pull off like the fat pieces because no one likes to eat that. I'm also going to scrape down this brown stuff around the sides, and then this is going to go into a pan to reduce over high, which I'll show you just in 1 second what that's going to look like. There's my chicken, and here's my liquid. To that, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of white cooking wine, and this is 1/2 cup of beef stock. It's obviously frozen. I've got this over high heat. This is going to reduce down until I want it to be really thick, but it also goes to flavor. It's like this is going, it needs to be really super potent. So I'll show you what it looks like when we get there. I'll tell you about how long it takes. That actually looks really good. You can see a lot of the liquid is gone. That took about 10 minutes. So now I'm going to add the last ingredient and let it boil down again. And that's 2 cups of heavy cream. Now I don't have to shout. Still going to leave it on high and let that boil down again. And then at that point, I'm going to start tasting it to see if I need to add any more salt or any more lemon juice. Maybe turn it down a little bit. Down to like medium high. Yeah, you want to give it an occasional stir. All right, I just did a little taste test. This is really, really good. So all I'm going to do is just add a little more lemon juice. So it was maybe like half a teaspoon. And then a little bit more salt. The thing is, it's hard to say definitely add this much or that much of the flavorings because you have to taste it yourself and see. You might not need to add anything. It might be perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the heat off at this point and add my chicken in, and then we'll do a taste test. Before I take a bite, I thought it was kind of funny when I said, I was going to pick the fat off the chicken, and I said that no one likes to eat that. It's gross. Let me just explain myself real quick. I don't like the texture of fat on the meat. It's got to be very, very thin and crispy. Otherwise, I can't chew it. I will gag. So, and actually everyone else in my house is like that except my mom. My parents had no problem eating fat. So I don't know what my problem is, but I know 5 out of 6 of us in this house can't do it. So that's why I pick it apart like that. But anyway, let's see. I already know it's going to be good. So spoiler alert. Still hot. Oh my word. Ow. Oh, but it's so good. Oh my goodness. I actually made this because my husband's mentioned it twice this week. It's been a while since I made it, so I thought I would make a big batch for him, me, and my daughter because it's still my middle daughter's cooking week and she's all about the carbs. So here I have something on hand ready to eat whenever I need it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you give this a try. Let me know if you made anything else by Julia Childs because that woman knew how to cook. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.